Hebrews, Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. It's our Women's Advanced Bible Study Night, 25th of January, 2024. We'll be dealing with the book of Hosea. We're going to read some chapters out of that and break the scriptures down. Okay, you can go to our YouTube channel, The Prophets of Awakening, check out our videos. We have something like 800 or so videos with a lot of information that you can gather to get to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It'd be greatly appreciated. For those that want to support the channel, we got our Cash App at the bottom of the screen. Okay. We have our hours of operation. We're on YouTube on Tuesday nights for our advanced Bible study for males and females. That's from 8 to 10 Central Time. We come back on Wednesday nights for reading. We do a bunch of reading through the Tanakh and breaking down scripture. That's from 8 to 10 Central Time on Wednesday nights. And on Thursday nights, we have our Women's Advanced Bible Study. It's also from 8 to 10 Central Time. We come back on Fridays for our Men's Advanced Bible Study, but it's on Clubhouse. And the room on Clubhouse is our non-Messianic conversations. That's also from 8 to 10. Then we have our Shabbat classes, one in the morning and one in the evening. The one in the morning is from 10 to 12 Central Time, p.m. Then we come back and close out Shabbat at 6 to 7 Central Time. That's from 10 to 12 in the morning, a.m. Then we come back to 6 to 7 p.m. in the evening for the Shabbat. Okay. This is a non-Messianic channel. By that I mean we deal with the Old Testament, so-called Book of Remembrance, and the first 5 books of the Old Testament, which are the Torah. Consist of our laws and statutes, our way of life. Okay. It was given to us by our Redeemer. Shalom and welcome to the channel, and welcome to our Women's Advanced Bible Study. We're going to do our normal, which is a moment of silence. We'll read a prayer. We'll do a prayer, read the Psalms. We got a women's health moment. We have some current events, little need to know information. Okay. And then we'll go into our Q&A, and then we go into our discussion, which is reading out of the book of Hosea and breaking it down. Okay. It's a moment of silence for the Lord of hosts and all that he's doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. But Lord, we come this day, bow down, honoring you and praising you and believing in you. We thank you for your wisdom and your knowledge that you have poured out upon us. Through your prophets, you have revealed the times that we as your Jacob's children will endure the tribulation. Keep us, O Lord, and guide us and deliver us. We see you now within the Holy Scriptures, O Lord, and we trust in you with all our hearts and souls. Keep not that silence, but shine forth on our enemies with our great power and our great glory. Peace be unto you. Okay, I'm going to read the Psalms.
Shalom. I'll be
Okay.
reading Psalms 145. I will exalt thee, my God, O King. I will bless thy name forever and ever. Every day I will bless thee, and I will praise thy name forever and ever. Great is the Lord, but greatly to be praised, and his greatness is unsearchable. One generation shall praise thy work to another, and shall declare thy mighty acts. I will speak of the glorious honors of thy mistress, and of thy wondrous work. A man shall speak of the mighty that they terror. Excuse me. Is that terrible
Terrible.
acts? Yes. and I will declare a greatness. They shall abundantly utter the memories of the great one, great goodness, and shall sing of their righteousness. The Lord is
Gracious.
gracious and full of compassion, slow to anger, and of great mercy. The Lord is good to all, and his tender mercy are over all his works. All thy works shall praise thee, O Lord, and thy saints shall bless thee. They shall speak of the glory of the kingdom and talk of the power, to make known to the sons of man his mighty acts and the glorious majesty of his kingdom. The kingdom is the everlasting, okay, thy kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and thy domain endureth throughout all generations. The Lord holdeth all that fall, and raiseth
Raised.
up all those that be bowed down. Bowed down. The eye of all wait upon thee, and thou givest them their meat to due season. Thou openest thy hand and satisfiest the desire of every living thing. The Lord is righteous in all his ways and holy in all his works. 18. The Lord is nigh unto all them that come upon him, to all that call upon him in truth. He will fulfill the desires of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry and will save them. The Lord preserveth all them that love him, but all the wicked will he destroy. The mouth shall speak the praises of the Lord, and let all flesh bless his holy name forever and ever. I read Psalms 145, 1 through 21.
Okay, just want to shine light on the 18. It says, the Lord is nigh unto all of them that call upon him, and to all that call upon him in truth. He will fulfill their desires, the desires of them that fear him. He also will hear their cry and will save them. So we see right here that all that call upon him in truth, he respond to, and then he and all that they fear him. So if you don't have no respect for him and don't fear him, I mean, it's a losing battle. Okay, okay, okay. So with that being said, we're gonna go to our women's health moment. Okay,
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. Please note that the information that I share is intended for general informational and educational purposes only and is not medical advice or recommended treatment. Tonight's discussion is on everyday foods that boost your immune system, plus, they'll help keep you healthy all year round. Food fuels your immune system by helping it build new immune cells, protective antibodies, proteins, and enzymes that together keep illness causing invaders out. Providing your body with the right key nutrients through a balanced diet is one of the best ways to prevent colds and stomach bugs. Think of your immune system as your body's gatekeeper. It serves as protection against bacteria, viruses, parasites, or fungi that may enter your body and cause harm. Your immune system is a vast network of organs, proteins, and cells like your skin, bone marrow, and blood that join forces to distinguish healthy cells from not so healthy ones. When a germ makes its way into your body, your immune system receives signals that something isn't quite right. From there, it responds by sending your body's frontline defense force, or white blood cells, or immune cells, to attack and destroy anything that it interprets as risky or dangerous. You don't realize how hard your immune system is working until you come down with something that your body may have never dealt with before. So, what are the best foods to help fight viruses and protect yourself from illness? Garlic. This potent onion relative contains the active ingredient allicin, which fights infection and bacteria. Turmeric. Turmeric helps with anti-inflammatory properties that contains, anti-inflammatory properties that can help support a healthy immune system. Black and green tea. Almonds. Almonds are high in vitamin E. Vitamin E is an antioxidant that can help protect cells from damage and therefore potentially prevent illness. Ginger. Ginger can help boost immune function by reducing inflammation in the body. Bell peppers. There's a reason you're told to load up on vitamin C when you get sick. The nutrient is great for your skin, which acts as a barrier between your body and harmful organisms. Mushroom. Mushrooms are a great source of vitamin production and activity of white blood cells, making them more aggressive. This is a good thing when you have an infection. Blackberries. Blackberries are high in antioxidants, plant compounds that can help shield the body from environmental stressors and germs. They contain fiber and vitamin C. Spinach and elderberries. Elderberries, they are fully loaded with immune support, antioxidant, and vitamins. The bottom line is before there was medicine, there was food. In the Garden of Eden, God recommended a diet designed to keep the world's first inhabitants healthy, happy, and healthy. Remember, a wide variety of diverse foods, especially fruits and vegetables, can have a huge impact on your immune system. I will be reading from Joel chapter 2, verses 28 through 32, a pouring out of God's Spirit. Verse 28. And it came to pass afterward that I will pour out my spirit upon all flesh, and your sons and your daughters shall prophesy, and your old men shall dream dreams, your young men shall see visions. And also upon the servants and upon the handmaids in those days will I pour out my spirit. Verse 30. And I will show wonders in the heavens and in the earth, blood and fire and pillars of smoke. The sun shall be turned into darkness and the moon into blood before the great and terrible day of the Lord come. Verse 32. And it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be delivered. For in Mount Zion and in Jerusalem shall be deliverance, as the Lord hath said, and in the remnant whom the Lord shall call. Tonight's discussion was on everyday foods that boost your immune system, and I read Joel chapter 2, verses 28 through 32, a pouring out of God's Spirit. Shalom, everyone.
Okay, appreciate that information. So notice how what you was reading. It said you're gonna pour a spirit out on the male and female, the old man, the young man. That's the remnant. Pouring the spirit out on the handmaidens. He pouring the ones that he's choosing to wake up, like we saw in as Ezra chapter 1 when Cyrus came, and, and it was time for them to go back. So he raised the spirit of the Levites up because they the leaders. Okay, so there's nothing new under the sun. Okay, so
Yes, sir.
with that being said, we go to our current event. You might want to tie your shoes up on one of these, folks. I don't know. Okay, let me see what I'm doing. Okay, here we go.
Russia has just issued a warning, and they are stating that 31 countries could easily provoke a world war. Now, I'm going to address why Russia is so concerned about these 31 countries, what this means for Russia, what this means for the United States, because again, the United States is one of those 31 countries, and according to reports, Russia is highly concerned with what the United States and President Biden are doing right now. So I'm going to address what is going on in just a moment. All I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead and hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates. Now, let's begin. So first, I want to give you a statement. This is from the Russian Foreign Minister, Sergei Lavrov. He says, and I quote, hopes that those who warn about the need to prepare for war with Russia still have the instinct of self-preservation. That was his exact quote. Now, I will give you another quote of his in just a moment, but I want to show you this. Russia is issuing an ominous warning to countries preparing for war. But why are they doing that? Well, it's for multiple reasons. Russia is concerned that everybody's looking at them, at Russia. They're not worried about other countries. For instance, the United States currently has issues with Iran, with Iranian proxies like Hezbollah, like Hamas, and like the Yemen Houthis. We have issues with China, right? There's a lot of stuff going on. The tensions are intensifying all around the world. Now, this is the reason why Russia is highly concerned, because of what NATO is doing. NATO, they say, NATO drills could provoke military incidents. This is according to Russia. Russia has been warning of this for a while, but they are now concerned because of what NATO is doing. I want to read you some of these things from them. Okay? They say over the past several years, NATO members have warned of growing tensions around the world, especially with Russia due to the war in Ukraine. Go on to say, many parts of Eastern Europe are highly concerned with the Russia-Ukraine war spilling over into their countries. As a result, most of these countries are using this time to prepare for an increase in additional conflicts. Now, according to the Russian Foreign Minister Sergei Lavrov, he says that we have no desire, no need, neither military nor political nor economic, to attack anyone, anywhere. Now, that was his statement. I will read that one again. This is his exact quote. We have no desire, no need, neither military nor political nor economic, to attack anyone, anywhere. That is coming from Russia. Russia is already attacking Ukraine. Now, is Russia going to go after a NATO country? Well, that is what NATO is highly concerned with, because NATO completely botched the whole thing between Ukraine and Russia, because NATO didn't think Russia had it in them. Well, look at this. This is from a general. He says, NATO vastly underestimated Russia's ability to resupply its army with troops and ammo. Guess what? They are easily doing this. They are easily able to resupply their troops with ammo, or their army with troops and ammo. This is easily. Okay? Now.
Okay, so we see all these people, they building up their weaponry and getting ready for war. I don't know if anybody familiar with the series Planet of the Apes. Anybody familiar with that?
Yes, sir.
Well, in that first movie, not the older one, but the recent series that started back up. If you remember on that chalkboard that one ate Caesar ate, he wrote Jacob on that board. No, a lot of people went over their head, but he wrote Jacob on the board. So when you understand how Hollywood works, these Edomites are the ones behind Hollywood. So these apes is actually Israelites, right? So in the last movie that came on by Planet of the Apes, how it went off was those other all the countries were warring against each other fighting. Like that's one of the characteristics of the Lord of hosts. He turning everybody in against each other. That's how he delivers people. So they started fighting in against each other, and while they was fighting, those eight left. They was delivered. They left. They fled. They had them in all these cages and had them bound up in all these different facilities. And so once they started fighting, they forgot all about them. And Caesar rounded them all up, and they escaped while they was fighting. So that just came back to my mind recently. So if you look at what's going on right now, we know there's something getting ready to happen. Matter of fact, they're already fighting. It's just escalating. They already fighting in Russia, fighting over in Ukraine. They got this Middle East thing kicking up. Well, we know that's how the Most High works. So that's all part of a sign that it's time for us to be delivered. So check this out.
Are you aware that there are immigrant advocates at state houses all over this country, right, who are advocating for non-citizen voting in local elections?
So blacks ain't never been where they are today. They all of them. They don't want nothing to do with the Democratic Party. And they looking at the numbers. They see how they fleeing from the Democratic Party. It's disastrous.
Check out this video from
Check
Chicago. A black civic leader who most likely will be called racist by the end of today, calling out the nonsense of allowing all the illegals into his city.
Politically, having over 500 people in our community would completely wipe out any interest we have. Are you aware that there are immigrant advocates at state houses all over this country who are advocating for non-citizen voting in local elections?
And they ain't even legal.
What if that happened here?
That's crazy.
That would change the mindset of what we as a black community need to thrive here in Chicago. That's a concern of ours. This is much bigger than the mayor of Chicago or Chicago Police Department.
That's right.
This is an effort to destroy our neighborhoods and silence our voices even further.
While I do agree that it's bigger than the mayor of Chicago, it should be noted that the mayor of Chicago did want Chicago to be a sanctuary city, just like Lori Lightfoot.
And all these clowns doing right here is feeding into it. But they want to see this big old mass migration that the black voters get away from Biden, from the Democratic Party. So check this out.
Like before him, Ari, it's good to see people waking up. Like this guy's like,
now all of a sudden we waking up,
and we're not happy with the Democrats. That seems to be pretty good, right?
Yeah, just 8 years ago, you had people like Bernie Sanders that actually had a good way of thinking about immigration, and they realized the more people that they let into this country, the worse it is for American workers, the more opportunities there are for these massive corporations to find people that are just willing to work for less. And so throughout the 60s, 70s, you had classic leftism have the position that migration on a scale like this is just terrible. And you used to have like the most hailed activists on the left go down to the border when there were illegal migrants trying to go through, and they would attack these people. And actually Biden has a bust of one of these people on his desk in the White House. So he's clearly turned away to the people and how they thought, even those leftists back in the day. And I think that a lot of people actually will be changing their minds as soon as they see the complete shock here. There was a chance in America that all of this crazy migration chaos would have just been limited down to the border states. But when that all changed with Greg Abbott that decided to fly everybody and bus them to the sanctuary cities, he made the problem affect everybody the way that it should have been. And so he's changed the game here, and I think people are going to realize really soon it's time for a change. Mayor Adams is now constantly fighting with the Biden administration. So is pretty much every mayor in the cities. They're trying to get more money so they can do something about this and really just put a stop to it. So yeah, people are waking up right now. I think they're going to continue to.
I do have to give credit to my guy, Ron DeSantis, who did ship them out to Martha's Vineyard before Abbott was sending them up to New York and Chicago. Emily, do you think is it cynical or just truthful that in a weird way, the Democrats are basically like, look, we have the black vote no matter what. They never break away from us. So why give them anything? Why not just ship a bunch of illegals into the black communities? They're going to vote for us either way, and congratulations. Then we'll document the undocumented and have even more voters.
So as of 2 days ago, they do not have the young black vote at least anymore, which is a perfect reflection of you are not safe in doing stupidity and thinking you're still going to maintain everyone's votes. Black people are waking up. I'm glad especially the black community and the Hispanic community are waking up, because one thing Biden did very well was overpromise and underdeliver.
When it came to us dealing with the scriptures and the Bible, they had a problem with us saying we was awake. But now, this going on now, they praising us that we are supposedly awoke. Okay.
To these communities that are marginalized or
it's going
experience
backfire.
a form of oppression in their own mind in the United States, and they're waking up. Like Biden promised us a lot of things, and he has given us nothing. So what incentive do they have to vote for him again if he's not doing anything? And that's probably why he's letting all of these migrants in, because like AOC stupidly said, they're probably going to grant them citizenship or at least voting rights. And these people, of course, are going to want to repay the people who let them into our country and vote for them, because he sure as hell has not done anything for the black community, not done anything for Gen Z, not done anything for the Hispanic community, hasn't done anything great for America, truth be told. And nobody has any incentive but to vote for him. So this is now the Democrats' plan B. What do? We can't lose this election. Boom, let's let the migrants in. They'll vote for us.
Let's finish up talking.
Okay. Any comments on that? Anybody got a comment?
Shalom. When they were saying about the voting rights, how it took so much in a lot of deaths for the blacks to even get voting rights, and now they're saying they could probably just give them voting rights without going through any kind of hassle or anything. And when the Muslims stood up and said that they were not going to vote for Biden because of Israel, that took a whole lot out of the majority of those in New York, backing down from voting for as a Democrat, which they saying they were.
Okay. Let me play this right here. It's crazy. So with all that going on, this just happened today.
Jamal Bowman from New York has proposed a $14 trillion reparation bill known as H.R. 414. Now, of course, you guys have heard of H.R. 40, which...
Do your research on this. It just come out. It's H.R. 414. They put it before Congress.
Is a study of reparations, but he is saying, no, let's go ahead and roll out the money. Now, some of the reparation bill entails things for education, free education, to one of the 107 HBCUs in America. Also, it deals with restoring the voting rights for incarcerated and previously incarcerated individuals. But more specifically, this is what he is saying. According to the 2020 census, there are approximately 42 million African Americans in the United States, which makes up 12% of the population. When divided evenly, each person could receive $300,000, which could be paid out over decades. He also goes on to say, who says the $14 trillion needs to be paid out in one shot? It might be possible for it to be paid out over 5, 10, or 20 years. You could take that $333,000 and break it up into monthly checks over X amount of time. There are creative ways to do the right thing and do what needs to be done. Now, of course, he was talking about the housing and education and incarcerated individuals being able to vote. Just all a part of that bill. My thing is, yeah, $14 trillion sounds like a great start. Although there's been a lot of economists that says it's much higher, right? Because of course, we know that for the almost 250 years of slavery, that slave masters and everybody from, their ancestors and generations to follow, they've made trillions upon trillions upon trillions of dollars off of the slave labor of our ancestors. And so I want to get back to that of Representative Jamal Bowman. Thank you so much for that bill that actually says, hey, this is what should be given. But I got a problem with that over decades, over a small period of time, this, that, and the other, and education and all that. Because true indeed, Not all black people want to go to college. Some black people have already gone to college, right? And so they don't want to go again. And yes, I think that the voting rights should be restored for people who are incarcerated and those who were previously incarcerated. But what does that got to do with reparations? Why does that got to be a part of a bill? Exactly. How much does that really cost? Can't you just, you know, you and your homies there in Congress with a stroke of a pen or votes or whatever you need to do and say, okay, restore the rights. That doesn't need to be included in reparations. But going back to that overtime, 5, 10, 20 years, y'all didn't do that. And I know it was probably before your time there in Congress, but the other people in Congress, they didn't do that with everybody else, the Jewish community, Japanese, and anybody else who's got reparation. They didn't say, well, here's $5 this month, here's 5 more than that. No, they got it all at one time. So why is it always when it comes to black people, we need to, we're gonna get to little bit by little, because that doesn't solve the problem of the wealth gap between black and white people here in America. It is said that it take us about 232 years, probably more than that at this point, to catch up to the wealth of white people at the rate we're going without reparations. And so the 333,000, I think that's a very low number, okay? Because say even so in California, you got to darn near make that a year to survive. So what is that really doing, right? But giving it to us little by little, that doesn't help close the wealth gap. That's some hush money. Now hush. We didn't give it to you, not the hush money that we're quiet, but the hush money. Now don't say nothing else. We're giving you something, ain't we? Yeah, you're giving us something, but it's not enough. And if you're going to give us $333,000, give it to us at one lump sum. Exactly. We can decide what we want to do with the money. If we want to go to college, which some will argue, well, if I got $333,000 again, which is not enough, I probably don't want to go to college. I could, start some businesses or do whatever I want to do with that money. Because in turn, if I go to college, it's going to be to make $3,000 somewhere. So if I'm getting that lump sum, I can decide what I want to do with it. But again, just want to say, of course, we know that now it's election season. So the Democrats, because that's what he is, they're going to come out with all the stops. Of course, they're going to send out, their best representative. When I say best, one of them's like us, right? Say, hey, black people, how about a little reparations bill? It's like we already got one. And y'all ain't doing nothing with that. It's collecting dust on the shelf. But this particular bill, is talking about a specific amount of money. So it's a ploy. It's a ploy. You don't need to try to, get people on board with that. Just do it. Say, hey, we've all decided here in Congress that the checks will be rolling out to African Americans who are descendants of slavery. Expect to get that check in the mail the next couple of days, or direct deposit, or whatever it is you're going to do, right? But no, it's games. Because let's keep it a buck. Most people in America, not counting black people, don't believe that black people should get reparations, American descendants of slavery. They don't believe we should get that. So how many in Congress are going to say, well, since you mentioned it, Jamal, let's go ahead and do it? Not a lot, because there's some, and here's a party, the Democrats, in fact, a lot, and probably most in the Republican Party, that don't believe black people should get reparations. And so again, he is playing games. It's all a game to get black people excited about more of nothing. So as I have always been taught, never, and when I say never, never count money until it's in your hand, okay?
Okay. Any comments on that? Okay. So like I said, we see some seriously getting ready to happen. You know exactly what it is, but you can see all the ducks coming in a row. Okay. So with that being said, nobody have any comments on that? We're gonna go into our Q&A. Anybody have any questions or comments about anything that they wanted to bring up or they wanted to talk about?
Shalom. I'm still working on a little project I got about spirits, so not at this time.
Okay. Nobody else got anything? Okay, I got something I want to kind of deal with tonight. It's probably, I think, maybe 3 or 4 questions or situations, then I'll play it and then we'll deal with it. Okay. Let me get this first one. sure either. Play the video, then we'll talk about what.
Hey, babe. You want to go to a show tonight?
I got a video from my good sister, Joyce. Joyce always sending us bangers. She's always sending us those dope-ass clips that we enjoy. And after looking at that clip, I was excited to do this video. Why was I excited to do this video? Because this sister is a real entrepreneur. And she's not a fake boss. She's not a fake boss chick. She's not one of these IG women that's out here pretending. This sister is getting it for real, okay? She has a very successful business, a very successful brand. It was real refreshing to see a sister on her level talking the way she's talking. That lets me know there's a lot of sisters out here that knows what's going on, and they are not happy the way things are going in the Black community. The problem is the loudest ones are the ratchet ones. The loudest ones are the gold diggers. The loudest one are the thoughts. The loudest one are the twerkers. The loudest ones are the IG models. The loudest ones are the masculine sisters. They are loud. This sister right here is soft-spoken, feminine. It was really refreshing to watch a sister on her level speak the way she did. By the way, gentlemen, her name is Pamela Booker. Look her up. Pamela Booker. You know, enough talking. Let's get to it. Hello. Welcome to Reactions and Reviews. I'm your humble host, Izzy. Thank you. And I hope you enjoy the show.
You've been in business for 12 years. That's a long time. That is. And she's like one of the top natural hair brands, Coils by Nature. It's like a white and green bottle. But anyway, when it comes to other entrepreneurial women, what's going on with women? Why do you think women entrepreneurs are like we're winning? Like there's so many of us. Why do you think that is?
Ooh, you're not gonna like my answer.
Please give it to us plain.
I personally think it's systematically done. I think it's systematically done. Okay, so I know I'm gonna get a lot of flack, but girl,
just start from the beginning.
One thing that they did during slavery is that they made sure to emasculate the man, right, and then make the woman powerful.
Hold. I gotta pause it. You guys seen how the host, how she's responding, how she's reacting? See, she wasn't expecting that. She thought, our sister was gonna start, going in on men or uplifting women or, supporting the sisterhood. She threw her off. Anyway, let's keep going.
The reason why they made the woman powerful is because we birthed the babies, right? And we're the primary caretakers of the babies. And we're going to do everything that we can to make sure our babies live, because that's what the human that's right. What animals do. That's what we do. And with that, it comes, I feel like, a certain power. I know Black women are powerful. They are powerful in our own right. Like we don't need a business to be an entrepreneur to be powerful. We don't need, to be running a company to be amazing. My best friend is a computer engineer for the government. She is fabulous, and she has a beautiful family, beautiful husband, and she's very powerful. But she has her husband.
You see, our good sister Pamela, she is married and she is under her husband. You notice what she just said about her friend that's also getting the bag. What did she say? For you, 19% of women that watch my content, what did she say? Her friend is powerful, but she has her husband. She has her husband. You see? Meaning she is also covered by her husband. Her tone is feminine. Her tone, her demeanor, everything about her, about her attitude, everything about her energy screams feminine. Screams feminine. So, ladies, you do not have to be masculine. You do not have to be a man to achieve what this sister achieved. She did it being a feminine, traditional woman. Anyway, let's keep going.
You know, and I just really feel like things are put in place so Black women can feel like they don't need a man.
So you think it's designed to separate and conquer?
Absolutely. Because if we don't have, and I was just talking to my husband about this, if you can tell when there's not a father in the household. Let me drink my water.
We need to drink on that because you're right. We can't tell.
If you made it this far, hit that like button and leave a comment to trigger YouTube's algorithm. I'm a new channel.
Okay, any comments on that? Anybody got any response?
Shalom, everyone. Yes, sir. I think that everything that Pamela was saying is totally true. Everything is systematic, right? And they do that to destroy the Black family, right? So you have to look at what she said. Like, you don't have to be great at what you do and become masculine, right? So I think it's all about your characteristics, right? You can have a great job and do things and all of that without being masculine, right? You still can be in your femininity of being a lady, and that's where we lose things at. So I'm gonna do an example, Brother Leonard. We have a lot of females that join the military, right?
Okay.
And when they join the military, they move up in rank fast because they become masculine. Okay. You know, they lose their soft tone of voice, they lose their empathy, they stop really caring, they lose their identity of who they are as a woman. And those women move up very fast in rank.
Okay.
Those are the type of things that are happening to us. So we have to go back to what we were created to do by the Lord of hosts, and that is to be nurturing. And we have lost that.
Okay.
We have lost that trying to keep up with what they have imposed on us. We have lost our way as Black women.
Shalom. I think that we basically was pushed out into the forefront, not voluntarily, but had to be pushed out there because
systematically, yes.
Yeah. And then having being single parent, which it's like an automatic thing. And I know I have members of my family that had went into the service. It's not so much, I think, of losing one's femininity, but you had to stay up with the rest of them. You know, you had to do it. It's even like a male, they have to stay up. Everyone in there has to put in all the effort, unless they're, will be back at the bottom. And who can serve as a private for how many years. But there's this, it's a way that systematically it triggers the mind and gets others to look at it and get others to, you know, look at one as not being strong enough, so they have to be strong. Not being good enough, so they have to be good, better. It's that systematic thing that's going on, just changing everything. And when we get to the point that it's not as concerning or as a, you know, important, other than, I mean, to have all these things. Now, when she said her husband, I was thinking that yes, you can have a lot going on for you, but you don't have to stay single. You have someone, you have a hedge over you. And by them mentioning the husband was a great thing to let them know that she is doing her part and also honoring her husband doing his part.
Shalom. That was a different situation pertaining to her, right? So again, if you go back to the military situation and you have a family, a husband and a wife, and you have children, right? That and say that the lady is in the military, she is not going to move up in rank by nurturing the soldiers, or you know, she's not going to be a first sergeant by standing out in front of her platoon saying, okay, now babies, now we got to get this right. She got to put them in check. So that's a big difference. And then when you move up in rank like that in the military, 9 times out of 10, where does that mom go? Just like the man goes, she goes to war. They don't leave her back saying that you have children.
Correct. You're right.
She is going to war just like that man is going to war.
Right, exactly. So that's actually what it is what he told us when it comes to the curses, that we're going to be kicked out of our culture and put into their culture and start living like they living. Because in the Israelite culture, the women weren't doing that. They weren't going to war. They wasn't doing all that. I mean, all this stuff happened since we've been over here as part of the curses. And that's one of the things that's so ridiculous to me with the Christian and the so-called awakened Israelite, but they're a number of Christian Hebrew Israelites, is that we in the beast system. That's why these things are happening. Like you were saying, they done weaponized us. Like they know who we are, and everything they do is to get us off our get us off our culture, to get us off of doing the things that we supposed to be doing as Israelites and dealing with our Creator.
Shalom. I can see what you're saying, Michelle.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am. Shalom, sister. So we have to look at the bigger picture of and I think Pamela said it makes a difference when the father is in the home, right? Yes. And it does make a difference. You hear a lot of women say that was raised in a single home with a mom only. I was raised by a strong Black woman.
Right.
I was raised by a strong Black woman. I was fortunate to have my mother and my father. My father was military. He retired from the military. My mom worked. She did, but she didn't have to. But she also was able to take care of us, nurture us, teach us. So if you go to Proverbs 31, right? So, sorry, let me get. So Proverbs 31 and verse 28, her children arise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. So those women that are in the military, they got on the uniform, they got on the combat boots, they're going off to war. Those children, they don't know their mom. They know grandma or auntie or daddy or whatever, because we have some women in the military and their husbands are not. So how can that child rise up and call her blessed when they don't know their mother? She's not there to nurture them. So you have to think about that. That is why we were created. The Lord of hosts created us to be nurturers, to raise our children.
Right.
I always go back to Rachel and Jacob, right? When he saw her, she was taking care of the flock.
Right.
But she was still in her femininity. She wasn't masculine with doing that. He wouldn't have been attracted to her with being that way.
Right.
But now we have lost all of that because we have been taught to be single, strong Black women to the point where we think we don't need a man.
Right. And that was systematically imposed on us too. And everything they did was to denigrate the man and denigrate his role.
Yes, look at how much, Brother Leonard, that they are doing now with the men. They are really condoning them to where this role that they're playing has got out of hand. They want to be the woman now. They getting BBLs and wearing pocketbooks and skirts and come on now.
You're thinking it's homeless, but it ain't homeless because the next thing they go from that, from wearing pocketbooks to where they at now. All out in the open and hugging up and all that. It's like I said, it's what they call subtle. They're doing it subtly, just like with what they started with the women's lib. What they did with that to now where it's at. Me Too, the Me Too movement, all this stuff. And it's it's no, just like we were just reading the Psalms. Yahweh said, the Lord of hosts said, those that fear me is the ones that he deal with. So there ain't no fear in the household with the, woman don't care about the man. They don't care about the order. It ain't nothing else. Just like we supposed to respect, and respect is part of fearing, and respect all go together. So if you don't respect the man, you don't care nothing about his role. You don't appreciate nothing what the Creator done with him. Like we was looking at how these 7 angels, we done found out who they are. Okay, well they men. So if you don't respect the man, you don't respect them. You can't jump up all of a sudden and become respectful, or when like he said, like I was saying, he said we see in Isaiah 30, chapter 3, where it says the daughters of Zion. Then we see the sons of God. Well, who the daddy? Who the daddy? Lord of hosts.
Come on.
You're a man. So if you don't respect the man, then you don't respect him either. And so how can you say you're an Israelite woman if you ain't doing that?
Right. And one thing, Brother Leonard, I'm gonna go off track just a little bit. One thing about it is on Prophets of Awakening, when we have these type of conversations, we reference the Lord of hosts, right? And we understand our role, the man's role, who the Lord of hosts is. These other channels that are constantly beating down Black women and want to have these modest looks and so forth, that's systematically. They don't include scripture whatsoever.
Right.
When they are trying to get an understanding out there to the people, to the Black women about who they are.
Okay.
That's a major factor.
Oh yeah, exactly. Right.
Yes, you're so right about that, Sister Michelle, that we need to make sure we know where we're coming from because we know whom we are. We know that the Lord of hosts is our Father,
Right.
and we know that we have a hedge over us.
Yes,
And that's
ma'am.
because when it all comes down, I don't care how big and bad one think they are, um, a female can't protect themselves against a group of males if they didn't have a male with them. A male has to help and be there. So we, an army of women cannot take over an army of men.
Right.
So true.
Right.
So we're second.
Right.
The Most High is first, because that's where the males go to, and we're behind them. And the best thing to be is, like they said, behind every great leader, there is someone who's there to help and be there for that person. So, again, our roles are very highly respected, but we have to respect ourselves and respect the person who's above us, over us, so they can
Yes.
continue to go, thus as the Lord says to them. They have to be able to go there and do it. Now, they can leave us behind. Where we going to go? Who's going to protect us? We have to go in order like the Lord says.
So
The
true.
Lord helps.
So true. And I think that is what is really missing. You know, you can have a conversation all day long and come online 3 and 4 times a day. But when you are disregarding, thus says the Lord, you're doing basically what everyone else is doing. You're really putting out there that, hey, I have arrived and all the other black women are Johnny come lately. You know what I'm saying? And it just does not come off right. You know, you said we're going to read Hosea tonight. So Hosea 4 and 6 says, my people are destroyed for a lack of knowledge.
Okay.
So when are we going to wake up and realize that?
Right.
You know, we can, um, speak on certain things all day long, but if you are not including your Redeemer into your life, you still lost. You still lost. The man has a role. We have a role. The Lord of hosts brought us forth as women to do certain things. He entrusted us to take care of his men and vice versa.
Right.
So I'm going to read Psalms 24. The earth is the Lord's, and the fullness thereof the world, and they that dwell therein. For he hath found it upon the seas, and established it upon the floods. Who shall ascend into the hill of the Lord? Or who shall stand in his holy place? He that had clean hands and a pure heart, who had not lifted up his soul unto vanity, nor sworn deceitfully, he shall receive the blessings from the Lord and righteousness from the God of his salvation. This is the generation of them that seek him, that seek thy face, O Jacob. Selah. 7. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, and ye lift up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord strong and mighty, the Lord mighty in battle. Lift up your heads, O ye gates, even lift them up, ye everlasting doors, and the King of glory shall come in. Who is the King of glory? The Lord of hosts is the King of glory. Selah. So we have to really think about that, especially verse 1. The earth is the Lord's and the fullness thereof, the world and they that dwell therein. So we belong to the Lord of hosts. He just has entrusted us. We have to understand that and get back to that. We can't be a pillar if we're masculine. It's no way we can be that way. Shalom.
Right, exactly. So he said he got that the culture that we in now, like he said in Deuteronomy, he's not being lifted up. And it's intentional. That's a lot of our old culture is centered around even the Ten Commandments, centered around our Redeemer, our God, and our Creator. But this culture that we in now, it don't do that. Like I said, you wonder why people saying that they don't need a man and all this, because look at everything they do. They create a men's sport like football, then they're gonna create a women's sport like football.
Yes.
See what I'm saying? So everything is being portrayed as if they're equal, and I can do this, and if he can do it, I can do it, and then I don't need him. So that's what's happened, and it's just denigrated the whole Hebrew Israelite culture, which was already prophesied. Yeah. So let me play this right here. It's another video.
Is it me, or every time you say an interview, not all the time, but majority of the time you say an interview, when the discussion is about relationship, majority of the time it's always what men have to do. I mean, this been going on from the days of Ricky Lake, Monte Williams, exactly. Oprah. I mean, you name it.
It's
Sally.
all orchestrated.
A lot of you may not remember Sally, but Sally. Every time the conversation of relationship comes up, it's always what man has to do to please the woman. Majority of the time, once in a while they may talk about, okay, what women need to do, but majority of the time, it's always men got to do this. Men are not fulfilling their duties. Men are not fulfilling their responsibilities. Men are not doing this. Men are not pleasing women. When are we ever going to talk about what women are not doing in relationships? And the few times you do have brothers like Kevin Samuels, may he rest in peace, that talks about what men want, women hated him for it. Every time a man comes out and says, yo, ladies, this is what men want, and this is what y'all need to do to please men, it becomes enemy number one. That's dealing with today's topic. I watched the show 8 at the Table. I'm a huge fan. Before I started my YouTube channel, I was a huge fan. Well, I'm still a huge fan. Okay? And in today's episode, we are going to take a listen with this conversation. Again, talking about what men responsibilities are when it comes to women. Let's get to it. Hello, welcome to Reactions and Reviews. I'm your host, Izzy. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the show.
I feel like a good father is just being there. I think just be present. Be there, teach, provide, whatever you have. Like my father didn't have much, but he was in my life the whole time. Being a good father is not about money. It's about love, protection, direction, teaching. And I feel like that's why I got so much principle and so much authority. It's for my father. I'm loyal to the team.
Women get the appraisal for being a good mom, being a single mom, and all these things, but a good father doesn't get any credit. The responsibility for a father is so hard, and it's so much of a tangible and intangible responsibility.
What it sounds like to me is that the onus is on a man to make sure he creates a child with a good woman, with someone who is going to have a loving home, who's going to be nurturing to that child, who's not going to be on some bullshit, who's not going to wreak havoc in the household.
I feel like that's goes both ways. Because there's a lot of men who have child.
You're talking about men.
I know that, but I feel like that's a general statement. If we speak on a general statement, then you have to take in consideration of the counterparty. And women need to make sure that they have children with good men.
But have you guys noticed something? What they're talking about is fathers from the 40s, 50s, and 60s that are now in their 60s, some in their 70s, some in their 80s. See, those days, those guys were your average men. They went to work, some were carpenters, some were mechanics, some were electricians, some were plumbers. See, they went to work, and some worked at the factory. They went to work, put in 8 hours, came home, and took care of the house. See, women from those days, that was good, that was cool. But in today's society, what they're not talking about, in today's society, women don't want those kind of men, you see? Women do not want your average man, the guy that's making 40K, 50K, 60K, 70K. Women of today, modern women like them that are talking, they wouldn't want the regular guy like that. They would prefer the 666. I mean, you all know what I mean. Anyway, let's keep going.
The men today, they're not as handy as, for example, my father. Like, my dad is a roofer. He's always had hard jobs, hard work. But that's my personal. That's my personal.
Versus hard.
And that's because now I feel like, yeah, you can call someone to put up a, you know, whatever. But that to me, it's like, so I don't know why it's so attractive, and it makes me feel so happy to see, like, my dad still doing that for my mom.
A man's job is to get it done, right?
Right.
I did it, or I called the handyman. I got it done.
I
so
guess
why am I less of a man?
Maybe that's like, no, I don't think it's less of a man. I'm saying it's the men are different today. Yes.
I disagree. It's less of a man. I'm sorry. I went on a date with a guy, and he was like, yeah, I wanted to get my TV put up. I had to call this guy, and he canceled on me, and I was like, you can't put up your TV.
That's what I'm saying.
Like for me, I had a job where I had to take down and put up pipes. Okay, I basically could do plumbing work. So if a man comes to me talking about he can't put up a TV.
For you, 19% of women that watch my content, do you see how she feels it's a turn off? The man is less than just because he can put up his own television. Now, imagine me saying a woman ain't no woman if she can't cook and clean. If you made this far, hit that like button and leave a comment to trigger YouTube's algorithm. I'm a new channel and I'm trying to grow. So hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to let you know every time I upload a new video.
Okay.
My name is Karen Collier.
Any comments so far? I'm gonna play the rest of this. Okay.
I'll wait until the end.
Okay.
Women always expect men to be 100%. They gotta provide. He gotta pay the bills. He gotta protect. He gotta do this. He gotta be good in bed. He gotta please me. He gotta cater to me. They never say as the woman what their roles are. And when a man comes out and say, yo, I'm not gonna rock with you because you don't cook and clean. Oh, it's toxic masculinity. Oh yeah, it is, he's controlling. Do you see what I'm saying? This sister just right here just said, a man is less than a man because he cannot put up a TV screen. Not all men are handy. Like me, I don't know nothing about cars. So if a woman is with me and the car breaks down, we are fucked because I don't know nothing about cars. Does that make me less of a man? Even though I can pick up the phone and call AAA or pick up the phone and call a mechanic. Hey, yo, this happened to my car. Come tow it to the shop. Does that make me less of a man if I pick up the phone, call someone to go pick up my car or my truck on the highway because it broke down? But to her, because I don't know how to fix my car, I'm less of a man. Do you see how insane that sounds, ladies and gentlemen? Do y'all see that? But these are the same women that will have a good man that will provide for her, love her, protect her, take care of her. Just because this man is not handy, I don't want him. He doesn't know how to put up a flat screen. Do you see that? And then you ladies wonder why the good men are going outside. Why the good men are looking at white women. Why the good men are looking at Asian women. Why the good men are looking at Hispanic women. Do you understand what I'm saying? Let's keep going.
If I'm a boss and I'm running all these different types of businesses, and maybe I'm not super successful, but maybe I'm making 6 figures a year running my businesses, And I never spend the time to learn how to be a handyman. Now I'm less of a man. But if I'm a person who has a lot of time doing handyman things and something breaks around the house and I can fix it, but I only make $60,000 a year, I'm too broke to be with the high value woman. So it's so unfair when we talk about the responsibilities of a man and then we put it into what he could do. Yeah, like what he could versus what he does. My thing is, if a man gets the job done, he gets the job done. I don't care how you have to do it. If I have to run 10 companies and now that 10 companies allows me to pay for somebody to put the TV on the wall, just be happy you got a brand flat screen TV on the wall.
Man, shout out to Rico. Shout out to Rico. You know, what he says 100% accurate. Like I just said, if my car broke down on the freeway and I don't know nothing about cars, as long as we're not stranded, you understand what I'm saying? If I can pick up the phone and call Uber, call a mechanic, yo, come to my truck and get it fixed. Call it Uber, I will still get to our destination. What is wrong with that? Ladies and gentlemen, what is wrong with that? For you 19% of women that watch my content, I always say this to you ladies. Good women, women that know their roles, women that know what they're supposed to do, women that have the man's happiness at heart, those women are snatched up. Those women are married. They're not single. The ones that are single, like this sister right here, they are the one that's single because they don't know what they want. That means like they want a perfect man, which does not exist. There's no such thing as a perfect man. And a lot of sisters, they always say, well, I'm just going to wait. I'm going to wait. I'm not going to settle. I'm going to wait. And what happens? They keep waiting till they hit 50. Some hit 55. That perfect man still don't come. Why? Because of this mentality. Now, what do you guys think?
Comments.
Shalom. Yes, sir. He is correct. A lot of us women are going to miss out because they're saying the men are not like they used to be. They can't fix anything. They can't. Right. That is a woman that is never going to be happy. She is never going to be happy. So, like he said, if I'm not a mechanic and I can't change the oil or change the tire or whatever, that does not make me less of a man. It's going to be fixed, right? It's not like he's just letting the car sit there. She's never going to be happy when she should be more focused on her role. She's more focused on him. So like he said, what if you don't want to breastfeed the baby, you want a bottle feed? Does that make you less than a woman? What if you can't cook? What if he likes steak and potatoes and you have no idea how to cook that? You burn it every time, but you call out and get him steak and potato. Does that make you less than a woman?
Right.
We just miss our roles and the things that we should be doing for our Black men, and we wonder why they're with the other races. Is because we don't have respect for them. We don't give them emotional stability. We don't give them support. And we always want more than what we deserve.
Right.
So I see that the idea that has been placed in some women's head about how their Black men should be, not men at all in general, but Black men, because if they had their friend, which would have been white, and she says, "Oh, we broke down in Keith called Uber, or he did this. Oh, he's so good. He made sure y'all guys didn't stay in the dark or whatever." But in such a mind is, why can't you go out there and put the tire back on? Or why can't you go and go underneath the hood? Everybody's not a jack of all trades.
Right, exactly.
And men cannot be a jack of all trades, because to be that, you're going to be missing out on something. So that thought that this woman, when she said she did plumbing, good, you can do plumbing, but you also can have empathy and have respect for the man you're with, and say, well, I I see that you can't put the TV up. It's okay. You're going to get somebody to put the television up. That's great. That takes off of what he's probably a mastermind in um in finance, and she doesn't know anything about financing. And you don't have to be able to put a TV up to know about finances, or you got this, you like you said, 6 figures. Why buy a house and go somewhere else to live? He has money. He's going to spend it and use it wisely and take care of things that needs to be taken care of. Yes, it's all on the mindset of what has been indoctrinated into those females to think that a man has to be a jack of all trades unless he's nothing. But it's the black male. I don't think that they will look at a white male or Hispanic male or any other male in that same um, light. The women on that panel.
Right. Yeah. So like you were saying, the lady on the first video was saying that who you don't see any other race of women saying that they're independent woman. You don't hear the white woman saying they're independent woman or the Mexican saying they're independent. It's only the black woman, like she said, because they've been weaponized, you've been targeted. You know, and you see, it's like you got nut buckets on the female side, you got nut buckets on the men's side. So my thing that stuck out in this last video, the conversation is, and you hear it so much, and it goes back to the scriptures, right at the scriptures. Me. That's where they're losing it at. You know, that's where they're losing it at, because it ain't about the, like we just said, the sons of God and the daughters of God. So who the daddy? So it's not about him, it ain't about her. It's about prime example, the fringes that we were told to wear on our garments. What's the purpose of the fringes? They point to the Creator and to the demon. They ain't pointing to me or the woman, pointing to the Creator. And so He've appointed you roles. You got to operate within your role. It's not about, like, you see it so much when you read the scriptures. I mean, I can understand doing it at first, but after you get to a certain point, what is the scripture saying? And then you came together and you break it down the scriptures, and what have we discovered the scripture saying? So what is it? What me got to do with it? Me ain't got shit to do with it. And that's where you see so many the problems coming in at. That's what they done to us as a people. You know, it ain't about you. It's like if I go all the way in and break it down, showing you that who JC is, and then you know it ain't got shit to do with you. You wasn't nowhere around. I mean, another example of that is she said that the one lady was talking and said that the men back in the day. Well, damn, you 30-something, 40 years old. What you know about the men back in the day?
Right.
Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. And it's the same thing, which is that part of the situation is trivial. But when you bring that to the scriptures, that's what the drama is. Because you bring the same approach, male or female, to the scriptures. And it don't apply to you. Okay? It's like Sarah's womb was closed. It wasn't, it wasn't nothing, she didn't have no defects or nothing where she couldn't have no women. Yahweh, the Lord of hosts, that closed her womb. Come on. So who is it about? Is it about her, or is it about Abraham, or is it about the Creator or Yahweh?
The Creator and Yahweh. It's about the Creator.
He the one closed the womb.
Right.
Right, yeah.
And we're gonna miss so many things in life, and I shall say blessings, right? Because sometimes the blessings are right there and we miss it because we think we deserve something else.
Right. That's like I said, you keep saying, oh, me, or I think, or this is what I see. No, we don't give a damn what you see. You know, look what's being brought rightly divided and broken down. It ain't corresponding to what you believe, what you see, or with me. It ain't got shit to do with that. That's what, look at David. You know, you see, you know, he was doing the most. Then he realized, and as he got older, that I can't go to the left or to the right. He got laws, he got statutes and judgments and precepts. I can't go to the left or the right. I can't do like I did with Bathsheba and go kill Uriah. Come on.
Shalom, or like Solomon, wanting to know everything, wanting to do everything, and wind up getting taking away his blessing because he's out there, he wants to be everywhere, and was about him learning and wanting, not about what the Most High wanted him to do, because he wanted to go and figure out all these things, and then to please his women that he married, isling this God, that God, that God. But he knew the Lord of hosts, but he lost fear in him by wanting so much out there.
Right. And that's the point. That's the major part about it. What so many people are understanding about that situation is, first of all, he was dealing with women outside of his race. That was already a no. So little by little he got to the point where he was in. And that's what happened to us. The little small things that you think don't mean nothing is taking you over the cliff. You thinking that, oh, they ain't nothing. Oh yeah, that's big as hell. Because it's gonna cut 2 or 3 little ones and you're gonna be falling over the cliff. And that's what happened. David was his father. How you end up in the predicament you was in because of, yeah, so little things. He already said, don't deal with no strange women. So if you over there with strange women, you already in left field. You can't do nothing but go farther left. You ain't gonna go right. So that's what, like I said, you start out talking about me or what I believe. You know what I mean? I don't give a damn what you believe. That's like a minnow. You know, a minnow in the Atlantic. And he say, I believe. Well, you got sharks, whales, and all. You got all kind of shit in the ocean. Who give a damn what you believe? Come on.
Right.
Come on.
Just a speck out there amongst all.
That's what you got to look at, whether it's male or female. You know, even look at our forefathers, Adam and Canaan and Enoch. They specks. They ain't about what I believe. So we was reading yesterday when the angels came and said, "Go and teach them what I taught you." Damn what you believe. Go teach them what I taught you. That's Melchizedek. Go teach them what I taught you. Damn what you believe. Or what you perceive.
Shalom, because yes, sir. Because believing in is only vague of what it is. To know it, you know.
Right.
And he says, go what he knows. Teach him. Go out and teach him what he taught you, and that's something is known, not what they, get your feelings out of it. Stop wearing your heart on your sleeve and taking all offense of what you can or cannot do, because the Lord of hosts gives you that energy, that zest, that zeal. If you want it, he will give it to you, where you have it to receive from him. It's not about us. It's about who we are,
right,
who we belong to.
Exactly. So like I said before, you got seeds. You got some collard greens and mustard greens, and you got the seeds. You want them to grow. You're gonna go put them and mix them up in concrete. And expect they're gonna grow. That ain't how the Creator made them grow. He made them grow with soil. So you gotta have soil. Put the seeds in. You can't put it in no concrete. So you can sit there and say, well, I believe it's gonna grow in the concrete. Well, it ain't. It's ludicrous. And that's what you see so many times, even on these lines. You bring up some bullshit that it has nothing to do with what the Creator did. It has nothing to do with the scriptures whatsoever. And that's where we at off it. That's what Christianity has done to us. That's what these Gentiles have done to us. Okay, so this is a prime example of that. Like for instance, now it's okay for two women to be together walking down the street. But let's look at this right here, based on what we're talking about.
Lesbian relationships are so intense because all we do is talk about our feelings. I swear to goodness, every single second you're talking about your feelings toward each other.
It's two women. Same thing. When she with a man, she went about her feelings.
Your feelings towards something they did, your feelings towards your day. Like, it's always about feelings. So many feelings are involved.
And as usual, before we get started, shout out to our good brother, Kai Thompson. Thank you for sending this clip. Let's get to it.
I could not resist, so I had to look it up. From the Office of National Statistics, from a 2019 study, in ever-increasing numbers, we are now at a lesbian divorce rate of 72%. So the top 4 reasons that they are reporting getting divorced is feeling ignored, inequality in the partnership, adultery, and domestic violence. Personally, I feel like this lends some weight to men's arguments and complaints about how women are behaving in relationships.
No, not men's argument, Yahweh argument.
Because when you have lesbian divorce statistics that look like that, the girls are kind of telling on themselves.
Hello, welcome to Reactions and Reviews. I'm your humble host, Eze. Thank you, and I hope you enjoy the show.
So, data coming out of the United States and Europe shows that lesbian relationships have higher breakup rates than, let's say, more formal relationships. Live-ins, domestic partnerships, civil partnerships, and now same marriage have higher breakup rates than heterosexuals have.
The same way, they are problem with men. They are problem to themselves. Ain't that a bitch? You understand what I'm saying? Women complain how bad men are. But ladies and gentlemen, what are we seeing? Women are even worse to themselves. They are worse when they date themselves. And what does that mean? What is the common denominator in all this? Women. Because wherever you ladies go, there you are.
This is a part that's going to be shocking to you. Look at what it's saying there. Feeling ignored in the marriage. Feeling ignored in the marriage. You know all that stuff that they say to men, and you're not listening to me, and I don't feel that I'm being heard. Well, apparently y'all don't get heard around. I don't want to hear each other either. Apparently that's the case of what's going on. Feeling ignored. The stuff that they charge us up with. Look at all this stuff. Unequal relationship. And the number 2, unequal, and I don't even know if these are in order from bad to worse. Unequal relationship with the one partner pulling the weight in the marriage. That's some of that, that stuff they say to us, I can do bad all by myself. Or I have to work and then I have to come home and still clean up and cook. So yeah, apparently, it's like they got studs on the couch. They got a stud on the couch and he's
Even women don't like their own ways. Even women do not agree with them being so emotional. Even women don't like dating themselves based on their own characteristics, based on their own behavior, based on their own way of living, based on the ways they are in relationships. We're looking at it, ladies and gentlemen. We are seeing it together. But leave it up to women. Men are the problem. And as we can see with these clips that are playing, that is straight up bullshit.
I'm sorry, I know that I'm bad at this anyway, yeah, but what the is up with lesbian dating at the moment? Like, why is it like the Hunger Games out here? Why are there more obstacles than not? Are you all aware that our dating pool is this big? We cannot afford to be as picky as we're being. I've had all of one interaction with a girl, and she asked me my star sign. I told her, it doesn't bother me. And then she said, right, I'm just going to go do a compatibility check. Well, I should have known then, shouldn't I? I was setting myself up for failure. She comes back very quickly, tells me we aren't compatible, and the conversation is terminated. Right then, right there. That's it. Like, I'm sorry, I can't control when my parents decided I was born 9 months later. Like, also, I'm not even that into astrology, but I'm massively offended that Capricorn wasn't good enough for her. Like, what's wrong with me?
When women go out with a man that they do not know, they take a huge risk. Men are crazy. Okay, do you watch the news? Like 1 in 5 men are violent. He could unalive you. He could RAPE you. He could stalk you. He could harass you if he feels like it. Like, it is very dangerous, extremely dangerous. When you go out with a man, you have to share your location with your mom and your friend. You have to send a screen recording of his Hinge profile and the conversation that you guys had so that if you go missing, they have context. You have to text your friend every half an hour while you're with him to let her know that you haven't been beheaded. You have to take an Uber so that he doesn't know what kind of car you had, just in case he's crazy. And then when you get home, you have to text somebody to tell them that you made it home alive.
If you made it this far, hit that like button and leave a comment to trigger YouTube's algorithm. I'm a new channel and I'm trying to grow. So hit that subscribe button and hit that bell to let you know every time I upload a new video. According to this lady right here, right? Whenever you go on a date with a man, that man is out to hurt you. That man is about to do this to you. That man is about to do that to you, right? And according to a black man, a lot of women in America, men are the only ones that are violent in relationships, right? Well, why don't we tackle the abuse, the physical abuse in women relationships?
Lesbians, stop putting your hands on your girlfriend. Now, I don't know about y'all, but I've heard too many stories from friends about abuse in relationships. And it seems like this behavior over time has become normalized in girl-on-girl relationships, and we just cannot allow that to continue to happen.
January 27, 2023, an article written by Melissa K. Huckabee, and the article reads, 61% of bisexual women and 44% of lesbian women surveyed in 2013 reported some type of intimate partner violence, IBV, compared to 35% of straight women. Intimate partner violence includes emotional, verbal abuse, physical abuse, stalking, sexual assault, and more. So, why don't we know that queer relationships have such high rates of abuse? For starters, physical abusers are often portrayed as violent men. So, along with many other misconceptions about women loving women in relationships, many people have trouble understanding why and how this abuse may occur. It's especially dangerous when queer women themselves are conditioned to treat their own unhealthy situation differently than a heterosexual couple might. The reason why I read this paragraph is to show that most women in America, when you say abuse, the first thing that comes to their mind is men. Men. And a lot of times, there are toxic videos on the internet dehumanizing men, speaking on how violent men are, speaking on how every man in America is violent. Every man in America wants to create a woman. Every man in America means a woman harm. Toxic videos like this one, nothing but toxic, that dehumanizes men.
We need to talk about domestic violence in lesbian relationships. It needs to stop. This is a huge problem, and it happens for a number of reasons. A huge reason is insecurity. lack of trust, a history of abuse yourself. But no matter the reason, it's not okay. It's not okay to insult your partner, to be hypercritical of your partner, to put your hands on your partner, to financially abuse your partner, to threaten to out your partner. You are not entitled to your partner's body if they say that they don't want to be physically involved in you in whatever type of way. It's underreported. You don't get a lot of support from the local police departments because the laws don't even cover same-sex relationships the way they do heterosexual relationships.
Okay, so like I said before, can't take no mustard seeds and collard greens and tomato seeds and put them in concrete. They ain't gonna grow. Same with this. He's telling on his own self. So you got to go back and look at, like I said, what people don't do is reflect and go back and look at some of the shit they say and some of the things they do and some of the things they even think. So, like I said, you trying to put collard greens and tomato seeds and mustard seeds in concrete and make it grow. And that create ain't got nothing to do with it. That ain't how you set it up. Okay? Any comments?
Shalom. One thing that hasn't been said when they were talking about that is that some women do take advantage of the situation with males and abuse them. That verbal, and some do those physical because their parents, the men parents, says never hit a woman, and they get with one that would do the abusing verbally and physically. There's a statistic that is a lot of that happening. But again, how the mind is, how people have been systematically thinking of what is going on. And like you said, showing videos, showing movies, portraying those incidents where they take upon themselves to think this is how it is. But I have sons, and women that do have sons, they shouldn't think that their sons are the ones who's going to be doing those things to females. I raised my son right, he's not going to do that, and he probably won't do it. But how they got statistics that that's the main thing they do.
Right.
So in the back in the day thing that they be saying is only in certain situations and certain homes or certain areas that people were brought up in such a way. Because I was a two-parent home. Things are never perfect, but again, not every family member or every culture acts the same.
Right. Yeah. So we see the scriptures, but we read it last night. I think it was last night. He says, "I'm a jealous God," and then we see where he said that I'm fear me, right? So what do you think he's gonna do? Just like the king of Assyria came to the wall in Jerusalem and told Hezekiah, "Don't listen to what they, don't tell the people, don't listen to what Hezekiah said, because Hezekiah don't know what he's talking about." So what he's saying is Hezekiah getting all this information from the Lord of hosts and these angels. So he's so ignorant that he don't understand that they there too. Just like the Israelites at the wall and on the gate, the angels there too. They hear what he's saying. So it's the same thing with this situation. You got a man, you got a certain role in the situation, and then you come to disrespecting him. Well, his creator said he's the jealous God. And we disrespected him. Look where we at. He kicked us out of his land over here. So it comes to disrespecting a person, then you don't know what might happen. If it comes to disrespecting them, not referencing them or doing the things that you're supposed to do toward them, anything can happen. The Lord host himself got pissed off from getting disrespected and cast us out.
Right. All of us, not one of us. He wasn't worried about the other one's feelings, saying, I didn't do this, I didn't do that, whimping and whining. You know, why I can't do this, why I gotta be cursed. I was obeying. He wasn't worried about that.
Right.
Cursed us all off.
Right. He stuffed the quail down their throat when they was whining about the meat. He was giving them angels food, and they was whining about that. So they wanted some meat, so he gave them the quail. And when they started eating, he rammed it down their throat and killed them. Just something.
Yes, sir.
Well, so all this, like I said, it all goes back to Torah based, biblical based, understanding scriptures, and then it's things that you excuse yourself away from once the revelation comes to on it. And like I said, we saw where we was just reading earlier. He gonna pour his spirit out on handmaidens, men, women, old men, young men. That's the remnant. Not on everybody. It's a remnant that he pouring the spirit out on. The ones that get it. Everybody ain't getting it. Ain't gonna get it. That's something.
Right. And again, they disregard everything, like you say, in the Torah, right? Torah based. So they're saying same-sex marriages. That's not in nowhere in the Bible, when it says in Genesis chapter 2, right? The first marriage, right? Yeah. Therefore shall a man leave his father and his mother, and shall cleave unto his wife, as they shall be one flesh.
Right.
So again, they're trying to make it seem as though that's okay, and we got to do something about this. We got to fix this. You know, this is a high rate, and it's sinful. That is not right. And Brother Leonard, I'm not sure. May help me out here. I think it's in Leviticus somewhere, where it talks about the mankind and the womankind. Thou shalt not be with the mankind and womankind. Is that in Leviticus?
Right. Okay. Yeah, that's Leviticus. Mankind shouldn't lie down with mankind.
Right. Yes, sir.
Right. So
all that is being disregarded.
Oh yeah. And so, like I said before, you shouldn't be surprised at what you're hearing on the video, because like I said, you can't grow produce putting it in concrete. You gotta put it in soil, because that's how the Creator created. He say he planted a garden eastward of Eden, and did and made the garden. He didn't make no garden eastward of Eden with concrete. So same thing with he didn't bring Seth and Canaan and all those men forward through a man. He created a woman and brought them forward.
Right.
That's the order of things, and so like I said before, people, all these things, when you start looking at it, they keep on hollering about these Christians and these Hebrew Israelite Christians hollering about the beast system. They waiting on it to come. You're in the middle of it. They're doing everything now. It's contrary to the Creator. That's what they don't understand. We at the point to get delivered, not no damn persecution or affliction coming. We at the end of all that. The beast system is coming to an end. You dealing with our forefathers was dealing with the Lord of hosts. Now we're dealing with a Jesus the Christ that was born without a father.
Right.
Shit, come on. You're in the beast system. You're at the end of it. Come on. Is there something? And like I said, I heard somebody talking the other day about gonna make a goddess image. The image gonna talk. It's gonna be a statue gonna start talking. No, man. Everything is written in red. You created an idol, JC, and then you made it talk. Everything is written and read. That's how he talking. Because you going back reading everything he said that's written and read. He got a father, the creator of everything, and shit he said and read. But the son, everything the son said and read. Come on. They're gonna image.
Crazy.
That's the image that made talk right there. Right in your face. Way back and started in 70 AD. You thinking the beast system coming when we at the end of the beast system.
Right.
Yeah. So you off. You 2,500, 2,000 years off. You can't afford to be that far off. Come on. Yeah. So with that being said, anybody got any comments or questions before we go?
No, sir. Great class. Much needed. I think we need to really start to connect ourselves to the scriptures as Hebrew Israelite women. We are really disregarding that, and we got to get out of our feelings thinking we deserve, me. We have to get away from that. I'm gonna say, like you said, we gonna miss the boat because we caught up in our feelings.
Oh yeah,
Thinking we should be the first one on the boat.
Right. Is this song?
We deserve to be in the front of the line. We missing a lot because we too caught up in our feelings, worried about things that we should not be worried about. It has nothing to do with you. The Most High is the one that is driving this boat.
Exactly. Right. Okay. Okay, so with that being said, nobody else have anything, we're gonna close it out and see everybody tomorrow for our Clubhouse conversation on Clubhouse, our men's advanced Bible study. So with that being said, take shalom, and I'll see everybody tomorrow.
Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.